Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I am your host, Davion, and I'm joined by Freddie, Matt, Oronde, Kaden, and Andrew.
Okay.
What goody?
Yes, get it.
And today we are finishing off our NFC South Let's Talk NFL series, talking about the Carolina Panthers.
Best team in the league.
All right, so like we start all these, I'll let you guys talk about it since we are centered around Charlotte, North Carolina, and we are centered around you guys and the Panthers. I'll let you guys talk about it first. I'll talk.
Okay. So I'm just going to break down basically their biggest offseason moves they did. So obviously they go and hire Frank Reich, and him and Tepper go spend the bag on this coaching staff with Thomas Brown, Sean Jefferson, Deuce Staley, Josh McCown, Evero, you name it. They are looking to win. They're looking to change his franchise around. Then they go up and trade for the first overall pick, giving up four picks and DJ Moore for Bryce Young, hopefully their future. And then they also signed not the best pieces, but something to help Bryce with Thielen, Hayden Hurts, Miles Sanders. They also drafted Jonathan Mingo for Bryce Young as well. So that's my spiel of it right now.
Okay. Well, I could agree with you on that because yes, they did make they probably borderline have one of the best coaching staffs in the league with all the hires that they made, for one, and for two. I feel like what Carolina did, what I really like what they did this year is the amount of young talent they have with the veterans they signed. So that alone will either A, it'll help the young players develop well, and B, with a young quarterback like when you drafted number one, you got vets like Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Miles Sanders, and a young and upcoming offensive line. To me, I feel like the success of the Panthers rely on Bryce Young. It all depends how Bryce Young comes out and how he does this year. It depends how the whole season's going to go.
All right, going off of what you said, right? Let's look at the moves that they made, right? So Bryce Young, Andy Dalton, Miles Sanders, Adam Thielen, DJ Clark, right? And then on defense, Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson, Frankie Louvu. And let me mention here, Eddie Pinheiro, second most accurate kicker in the NFL, right? Behind, I think,
Right.
Justin Tucker, number one. So
Yeah.
Justin Tucker and Young Wei Koo right behind him.
yeah, and then our offense actually isn't that bad. We were fifth in rush play percentage, right? Our defensive, we were okay, all right. But it's gonna be on Andy Dalton to mentor Bryce Young to get him ready to play to start the game for the Carolina Panthers. Yeah.
So here's the thing. What? Rhonda, you have. Oh, Kaden, you two have at it. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, wait your turn.
My bad. I
like
apologize.
The Panthers, they made a lot of good moves. They have 50 years of quarterback experience for Bryce Young between Andy Dalton, Josh McCown, the quarterback coach, and Frank Reich, who also played
Jim
quarterback.
Caldwell as well.
Yes.
Jim Caldwell, excuse me.
I like the Panthers, but I like you said earlier, I think they're still a season away, which is not a bad thing. The defense is probably the best defense in the division outside of Tampa Bay. But also this offensive line, you got Icky, who he probably gonna be better this next year, but this offensive line is still it's middle of the pack. Like it's not bad, it's not terrible, but it's not like your problem with Baker last season was you had an offensive line which I saw play that does not punish defenders when they jump, which also you got a smaller quarterback who's going to still get balls batted at the offensive line. I mean, I don't know what the offensive line coaching is, but I'm just gonna have to see them through the season. But I like the Panthers. I feel like they could win the division. I don't think they'll finish last though. I think at the worst they finish third or second.
So the way I see the Panthers, I obviously hometown, you got to root for them occasionally, but I do like how they look on paper. As previously mentioned, Thielen, Chark, Jonathan Mingo, who I've seen in person, great specimen of an athlete. But another year with Demir Bird, one of their one of their favorite deep threat targets. And also, they have a pretty healthy team, and they will get JC Horn back, which is a big piece of that secondary. Very important. Something that y'all didn't mention. But they also have, as I mentioned about the Saints and the Falcons, one of the top 6 easiest schedules going into next season, which will give them plenty of room to breathe. But also, if they do bad, it's a huge disappointment, because how are they going to spoon feed you bad teams and you're not going to make any movement with it? They're an easy contender for the division lead, and going into the season, they still have money to pay people if they do better. And a lot of their contracts are incentive laden. They do better, players get money, they probably play better next season. I mean, it's about as good as you can get it. They have a great situation to succeed. I'm a huge fan of Frank Reich and Josh McCown, because it is what it is. A lot of age and wisdom around Bryce Young. Hopefully they don't bully him too much, like he doesn't throw the ball at the back of his lineman like Jalen Hurts did when he got into the league, and Kyler. But I digress. I think it'll be fine. I do have a lot of optimism in them, more than I do the Saints, and I don't know. I got them up for the division winner.
Damn straight. Tell him.
All right. So here's the thing.
And the last thing I want to say, if they can pull their secondary together and not get embarrassed like they did at home a few times.
Dante Jackson.
Yeah, if they can pull that together, then I'm all for it.
So I guess it's my turn to speak. So yeah, I hear everything y'all are saying. I think they go as far as their quarterbacks take them. I don't think they'll be a bad team. I don't think they'll be a bad team at all. And they could easily win the division, but it's a matter of how their team plays as a whole. And I think that's the biggest question mark, is how are this team going to gel as a whole? You get a lot of these players and get a lot of things that look good and look great on paper to add up, but how do they gel together as a whole? That's a big question mark. And so that's what I think. Yeah. So
What about? I was gonna say, what's their ceiling and what's their floor?
like record
You wanna
wise,
look
or
at their
like just
Yeah, record wise.
I don't
For
know.
the season,
Record wise, I'd
There's-
say 9,
9 or
Nine
10 wins.
I
9,
say
10
10.
wins.
I say 10 wins.
I'm gonna say 10 max. 10 max.
Yeah,
Max.
9,
I
10
have them
wins.
10-7 right now. First in division.
I think at worst 5. That's just
5 or 6.
rookie. They get
Yeah.
just new team.
Another
like, injuries and
mid-year.
stuff.
Who do you
Gotcha.
who do you have the biggest problem with if they don't succeed this season?
Nobody.
Probably
I
the
mean-
owner, honestly, David Tepper.
That's
I mean,
probably
I'll
it
buy
right
it off
now.
him, bro, if he doesn't want the
Sure.
Panthers.
I mean,
can,
okay, so about the thing about Tepper, I've always had this opinion about him. He is not patient enough.
Right.
He means well, but he's too gung ho on trying to make decisions to try to get the team better as fast as possible, which is respectable, but you have to have some semblance of patience.
He thinks he's Jerry Jones.
Right.
Yes.
I
He's not
agree
as
with
funny as Jerry Jones. I don't think we can make that connection.
Yeah,
But- Yeah, I mean, the fact that he went and traded up for the first overall pick, I just have respect for anyways, because I don't think the franchise has ever done something like that in years. So
they never once David Pepper got the team, they have never made this many moves. I've
Ever.
been whole years before he came.
And it never gambled previously as well.
right.
Ever.
I mean,
Like,
we
it's
have
like-
one of the best GMs though in the entire NFL. Let's be honest. I mean, he's top 5 for
Fitter's
sure.
been great too.
He's a
Fitter's
great
been
GM.
great too.
Yeah.
He's very aggressive.
And it's like, I'd rather them take the gamble on these guys and fail instead of doing nothing and still fail. So that's my take on it.
I feel like the reason it has failed for them these past seasons is because the biggest mistake they've made is the quarterback. That's just every other move has been great moves for them. It's just define their quarterback. That's what's really been holding them back for these past years.
Right.
And Matt Rule, he was yikes. Yikes. That was
Matt Rule meant well, but he is a quarterback guru. I mean, he's a college guru, not NFL.
Yeah, and then Ben McAdoo, dude, what the fuck was that OC signing? like actually, he is the worst offensive coordinator in the league. He shouldn't have a job in any fucking football,
You shouldn't even
college,
watch.
NFL. He
He
sucks.
must have knew somebody or something. Because golly,
Man,
that